Hey guys, welcome back. I'm sorry I did not upload 2 days ago like I said I was going to. I've been dealing with a lot, and I'll explain because it actually ties in to what I was going to tell you guys the other day. I said I would say it in today's video, so I'll just jump right into it. So a few days before I went out of town, my mother-in-law had mentioned to me that she was wanting to fast for someone. And I kept thinking about it that day, and I was like, man, I'd love to fast with her because I feel like if, more people are fasting for the same thing, maybe it might have a bigger impact. So I thought about it, was going to say something, I didn't. 2 days go by, and then I was like, you know what, I'm going to say something, but let me pray about it first. So I prayed about it that night after my daughter went to bed. And the next day, I saw some family members and they said some things about the person that we were going to fast for. And the very first thing that came to my mind when they were telling me this information was, oh my gosh, like I was going to fast for this person. Should I even be fasting for this person? It wasn't good information. Which hold on there. It gets the story gets juicier. More wild. So the first thoughts I had was, oh my gosh, I was gonna fast for this person. Should I even be fasting for them? I was so upset. Because I was like, I was gonna tell my mother-in-law, I was like, yeah, let's fast for this person. Let's do it. Let's get more people. Let's pray for them at church. Like I was like on fire, to like help this person. And so when this information was being given to me, which was totally out of the blue, it was very random. I was like, I was so torn up about it. I was so upset for hours. I couldn't even eat. I was so upset. So, um, but there was a part of me deep down that was like, no, I should fast for this person because everyone's deserving of God's forgiveness if you truly have a change of heart, which I believe that this person has. So I was really upset about it, and I thought that was so weird, and it was just strange. The whole thing was strange, and I thought it was just such a coincidence. And I was like, I had the thought, like, is God trying to tell me something? Is God trying to like show me, hey, I shouldn't fast for this person? Is he trying to like reveal information to me? It was very weird. A couple hours go by, right? My husband gets off work. He's telling me stuff, and then finally he realizes like I'm kind of off. I'm kind of upset, and he goes, "What's wrong? Like, what's going on?" And I was like, "Oh, I shouldn't tell you. Like I shouldn't tell you this." And he was like, "Tell me." So I tell him, and he was so upset. He was like, no, that's a lie. What they told me was a lie. It was not true. So I was even more confused. I was like, what is going on right now? I was like, what is happening? I wanted to fast for this person. Then I find out this information that's not good, and I'm upset about it. And I have these thoughts about, should I have even fasted? Or like, see, that person's not worth fasting for. And so I kept thinking about it after my husband told me that this information wasn't true at all. And I was so confused. It was such a bizarre day. And then I finally realized those thoughts were not my thoughts. That was the devil trying to get me to not fast for this person. Because I'm telling you guys, immediately, as soon as this information started being told to me, the first thoughts I had were, oh, you were going to fast for this person. This person's terrible. This person's not worthy of being fasted for. You shouldn't be doing that. Like, see, they're a bad person. You shouldn't be doing it. Like, those are the thoughts I was having, and it was immediately about the fasting that I wanted to do for this person. And I realized, I was like, I prayed about this out loud last night to God, and then this happens. It was a spiritual attack. The devil didn't want me to fast for this person. The devil was using these other people to get to me, to convince me, oh, hey, see, look, like you shouldn't be fasting for this person. So I was like, wow, that's wild. It was so crazy. And I've learned now, if I'm getting pushback from the enemy in any sort of way, that to me tells me I need to do that. If I'm having a hard time and being spiritually attacked to go to a church event or to go to church or to do something or to read the Bible or something like that, to me, that tells me if they're attacking me, then that's something I should be doing because it's going to do something good. So to me, when that happened, I was like, oh, okay, like I definitely need to fast for this person now, right? So, anyways, so then a couple days go by and I go out of town. Now, there's someone in my family that because I had fasting on the brain and I started realizing, like, you know, fasting is one of our tools or one of our weapons in, spiritual warfare. You know, I mean, prayer and fasting is powerful. So I had it on my brain already. And then I went out of town to visit my family, and one of my family members, I had this overwhelming urge. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I want to fast for them." And I wanted to like fast for them because I was just like, I'm not going to go into too many details, but yeah. So that night, I pray about it out loud. Again, right? This is a couple days later. The next day in the morning when I wake up, I feel terrible. I mean, like, I felt like I've had the flu one time in my life that I can remember. A few years ago, like maybe, I don't know, 6 years ago or something like that. And I remember how it felt. And I felt like I had like the flu, but like a lighter version of it. I mean, I could barely keep my eyes open. I felt terrible. I almost at one point thought I was running like a slight fever or something. I could barely move. Like, I was so weak. It was crazy and it hit me out of nowhere. There was no precursor to this at all. This is the next morning after I prayed that night for my family member and telling God, hey, I want to fast for this person and why and all of that. And at first I was like, oh, maybe I'm getting the flu, because when I had the flu that one time, like whatever, 6 years ago, it hit me suddenly and quick. So I'm like, oh, okay, like maybe I'm having the flu. So an hour or two goes by and I'm like, I'm just feel terrible. I'm like, I told my husband, I was like, I need to lay down and get some sleep. So I go and I lay down and I take a nap and I wake up and I feel a little bit better. Enough, I felt enough to take like a shower. I don't know what it was, but when I was in the shower, I realized I was like, I don't know what clicked for me. It was probably God that helped me, make that connection. But I was like, oh my God, this is another spiritual attack. I was like, it has to be. I was like, because I was just praying for this person that I want to fast for too, and um, and this one I felt much more stronger about doing it than the other person. Not that the other person I don't want to do it for them too, but it's I don't want to go into the details, but anyways, um so I'm in the shower and I was like, oh heck no, like I'm not gonna put up with this. I was like, I'm gonna do this and you're just showing me right now, like when the devil's attacking me now, I'm just like, you're doing is showing me that the thing that you're trying to get me to stop doing, I definitely am gonna be doing it now. Like it's having the opposite effect on me. You're not making me not want to do it. You're making me want to do it more because you're showing me that this is going to do something. Otherwise, you wouldn't bother attacking me. You wouldn't bother trying to get me to not do it. So I I don't know what came over me. I'm in the shower. I'm about to get out. And I just stood there and I just started praying out loud. And I was like, I rebuke you, and God, like, give me strength, take away this sickness, take away this spiritual attack, protect me, blah blah blah. Like, I was just like, I know that this is a spiritual attack. I was just like saying all kinds of things. I don't even remember what I was saying. So I get out of the shower and I have this renewed strength, and I'm like, yeah, like, I'm gonna do this. I don't care. So then over the next couple hours, I just started feeling better and better and better, and I was myself, like it never happened. Like, I mean, I'm telling you guys, I was so weak and so like tired. I could barely keep my eyes open, barely. And I was like, oh, well, maybe I need like a little sugar, maybe something to eat. So my husband went and got me an apple juice. I drank that, and I still couldn't keep my eyes open. So my mom made some breakfast. I had some of that, and she made pancakes with it, and I could barely use the fork to like cut the pancakes, which were soft. And I was like, what the heck? So like to go from that to then normal, I was just like, yeah, no, that was definitely like, because as soon as I prayed in the shower, I instantly started feeling better. And then from there, I went back to normal completely. Like, it was just wild. I could not believe it. So, um, anyway, so the reason I've been having a rough couple of days is because I'm actually going to do the fast for my family member. I've decided to do it. The other person I want to fast for too, but um, there's other details to that story and to that situation that I can't really divulge into. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to let that kind of sort itself out. And I'm going to focus on this fasting for my family member. And so I'm going to be starting that. And I know in the Bible it says not to tell you guys, but I'm not telling you guys this to boast or anything. I'm telling you this because I feel like this is all like really relevant stuff to share in my journey, you know? And so that's why I'm telling you. And it's not like that many people see my videos anyways, so what does it matter? Um, so I'm gonna start this fast, right? And man, has the devil been coming at me every which way possible the past couple days. Like, hard. I mean, oh my goodness. It's been intense, and I'm just like, but I've like I've made up my mind. I'm doing this. And so that's that. I've made up my mind. I've already prayed about it multiple times. I've already told God this is what I want to do and why. And I've prayed with him and told him my plan and all of this stuff. And, and I've already made up my mind. So, and the fact that the devil keeps coming at me so hard just tells me that what I'm wanting to do is going to do something good, and it's going to do something big, or a breakthrough or something, you know? So that to me is just fuel. Like, oh yeah, I definitely should be doing this. Instead of pulling me away from this and, you know, I don't know the word. Anyways, instead of pulling me away from this, it's having the opposite effect. It's making me be like, oh yeah, I definitely am going to be doing this now, for sure. It's like giving me confirmation. Like, oh yeah, I should be doing this, for sure. So, I'm just saying, guys, if the devil's attacking you for any reason, like, on the way to church or for a church event or to do something or to fast or I don't know what, like, to me, I see that as a sign now that that is something that's going to do something for me or someone else, or it's going to do something good, because the devil wouldn't be wasting his time with something that's not going to do nothing. Like, there's just, I think about it. I mean, honestly. So I'm going to do it. I've already made up my mind. I already have a plan and everything. I've thought about it for the whole past week. I've prayed about it extensively. And even though it's been a really, really, really hard couple of days, it's not deterring me from it at all. In fact, it's making me be like, yeah, I'm definitely doing this. So that's that, guys. Okay, I wanted to share all that real quickly. Sorry. I hope I was quick with it and clear my story. So let's get into today's chapters, which I've tried to read 2 separate times now, and I've fallen asleep both times. I don't remember if I made it to the end of today's chapters or not. I don't know, but let's get into it.
And many of the Samaritans of that city believed in him because of the word of the woman who testified, "He told me all that I ever did." So when the Samaritans had come to him, they urged him to stay with them. And he stayed there 2 days. And many more believed because of his own word. Then they said to the woman, "Now we believe, not because of what you said, for we ourselves have heard him, and we know that this is indeed the Christ, the Savior of the world." Now after the 2 days he departed from there and went to Galilee, for Jesus himself testified that a prophet has no honor in his own country. So when he came to Galilee, the Galileans received him, having seen all the things he did in Jerusalem at the feast, for they also had gone to the feast. So Jesus came again to Cana of Galilee, where he had made the water wine. And there was a certain nobleman whose son was sick at Capernaum. When he heard that Jesus had come out of Judea into Galilee, he went to him and implored him to come down and heal his son, for he was at the point of death. Then Jesus said to him, "Unless you people see signs and wonders, you will by no means believe." The nobleman said to him, "Sir, come down before my child dies." Jesus said to him, "Go your way, your son lives." So the man believed the word that Jesus spoke to him, and he went his way. And as he was now going down, his servants met him and told him, saying, "Your son lives." Then he inquired of them the hour when he got better. And they said to him, "Yesterday, at the 7th hour, the fever left him." So the father knew that it was at the same hour in which Jesus said to him, "Your son lives." And he himself believed, and his whole household. This again is the second sign Jesus did when he had come out of Judea into Galilee. After this, there was a feast of the Jews, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Now there is in Jerusalem by the sheep gate a pool, which is called in Hebrew Bethesda, having 5 porches. In these lay a great multitude of sick people, blind, lame, paralyzed, waiting for the moving of the water. For an angel went down at a certain time into the pool and stirred up the water. Then whoever stepped in first, after the stirring of the water, was made well of whatever disease he had. Now a certain man was there who had an infirmity 38 years. When Jesus saw him lying there, and knew that he already had been in that condition a long time, he said to him, "Do you want to be made well?" The sick man answered him, "Sir, I have no man to put me into the pool when the water is stirred up, but while I am coming, another steps down before me." Jesus said to him, "Rise, take up your bed and walk." And immediately the man was made well, took up his bed and walked. And that day was the Sabbath. The Jews therefore said to him, who was cured, "It is the Sabbath. It is not lawful for you to carry your bed." He answered them, "He who made me well said to me, 'Take up your bed and walk.'" Then they asked him, "Who was the man who said to you, 'Take up your bed and walk'?" But the one who was healed did not know who it was, for Jesus had withdrawn, a multitude being in that place. Afterward, Jesus found him in the temple and said to him, "See, you have been made well. Sin no more, lest a worse thing come upon you." The man departed and told the Jews that it was Jesus who had made him well. For this reason, the Jews persecuted Jesus and sought to kill him, because he had done these things on the Sabbath. But Jesus answered them, "My Father has been working until now, and I have been working." Therefore the Jews sought all the more to kill him, because he not only broke the Sabbath, but also said that God was his Father, making himself equal with God. Then Jesus answered and said to them, "Most assuredly I say to you, the Son can do nothing of himself, but what he sees the Father do. For whatever he does, the Son also does in like manner. For the Father loves the Son, and shows him all things that he himself does, and he will show him greater works than these, that you may marvel. For as the Father raises the dead and gives life to them, even so the Son gives life to whom he will. For the Father judges no one, but has committed all judgment to the Son, that all should honor the Son just as they honor the Father. He who does not honor the Son does not honor the Father who sent him. Most assuredly, I say to you, he who hears my word and believes in him who sent me has everlasting life, and shall not come into judgment, but has passed from death into life. Most assuredly, I say to you, the hour is coming, and now is, when the dead will hear the voice of the Son of God, and those who hear will live. For as the Father has life in himself, so he has granted the Son to have life in himself, and has given him authority to execute judgment also, because he is the Son of Man. Do not marvel at this, for the hour is coming in which all who are in the graves will hear his voice and come forth, those who have done good to the resurrection of life, and those who have done evil to the resurrection of condemnation. I can of myself do nothing. As I hear, I judge, and my judgment is righteous, because I do not seek my own will, but the will of the Father who sent me. If I bear witness of myself, my witness is not true. There is another who bears witness of me, and I know that the witness which he witnesses of me is true. You have sent to John, and he has borne witness to the truth. Yet I do not receive testimony from man, but I say these things that you may be saved. He was the burning and shining lamp, and you were willing for a time to rejoice in his light. But I have a greater witness than John's, for the works which the Father has given me to finish, the very works that I do, bear witness of me, that the Father has sent me. And the Father himself, who sent me, has testified of me. You have neither heard his voice at any time, nor seen his form, but you do not have his word abiding in you, because whom he sent, him you do not believe. You search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and these are they which testify of me. But you are not willing to come to me, that you may have life. I do not receive honor from men, but I know you, that you do not have the love of God in you. I have come in my Father's name, and you do not receive me. If another comes in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe, who receive honor from one another, and do not seek the honor that comes from the only God? Do not think that I shall accuse you to the Father. There is one who accuses you, Moses, in whom you trust. For if you believed Moses, you would believe me, for he wrote about me. But if you do not believe his writings, how will you believe my words? After these things, Jesus went over the Sea of Galilee, which is the Sea of Tiberias. Then a great multitude followed him, because they saw his signs which he performed on those who were diseased. And Jesus went up on the mountain, and there he sat with his disciples. Now the Passover, a feast of the Jews, was near. Then Jesus lifted up his eyes, and seeing a great multitude coming toward him, he said to Philip, "Where shall we buy bread, that these may eat?" But this he said to test him, for he himself knew what he would do. Philip answered him, 200 denarii worth of bread is not sufficient for them, that every one of them may have a little. One of his disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, said to him, "There is a lad here who has 5 barley loaves and 2 small fish, but what are they among so many?" Then Jesus said, "Make the people sit down." Now there was much grass in the place, so the men sat down, in number about 5,000. And Jesus took the loaves, and when he had given thanks, he distributed them to the disciples, and the disciples to those sitting down, and likewise of the fish, as much as they wanted. So when they were filled, he said to his disciples, "Gather up the fragments that remain, so that nothing is lost." Therefore they gathered them up, and filled 12 baskets with the fragments of the 5 barley loaves, which were left over by those who had eaten. Then those men, when they had seen the sign that Jesus did, said, "This is truly the prophet who is to come into the world." Therefore, when Jesus perceived that they were about to come and take him by force, to make him king, he departed again to the mountain by himself alone. Now when evening came, his disciples went down to the sea, got into the boat, and went over the sea toward Capernaum. And it was already dark, and Jesus had not come to them. Then the sea arose, because a great wind was blowing. So when they had rowed about 3 or 4 miles, they saw Jesus walking on the sea and drawing near the boat, and they were afraid. But he said to them, "It is I. Do not be afraid." Then they willingly received him into the boat, and immediately the boat was at the land where they were going. On the following day, when the people who were standing on the other side of the sea saw that there was no other boat there, except that one which his disciples had entered, and that Jesus had not entered the boat with his disciples, but his disciples had gone away alone. However, other boats came from Tiberias, near the place where they ate bread, after the Lord had given thanks. When the people therefore saw that Jesus was not there, nor his disciples, they also got into boats and came to Capernaum, seeking Jesus. And when they found him on the other side of the sea, they said to him, "Rabbi, when did you come here?" Jesus answered them and said, "Most assuredly, I say to you, you seek me, not because you saw the signs, but because you ate of the loaves and were filled. Do not labor for the food which perishes, but for the food which endures to everlasting life, which the Son of Man will give you, because God the Father has set his seal on him." Then they said to him, "What shall we do that we may work the works of God?" Jesus answered and said to them, "This is the work of God, that you believe in him whom he sent." Therefore they said to him, "What sign will you perform then, that we may see it and believe you? What work will you do? Our fathers ate the manna in the desert, as it is written, 'He gave them bread from heaven to eat.'" Then Jesus said to them, "Most assuredly, I say to you, Moses did not give you the bread from heaven, but my Father gives you the true bread from heaven. For the bread of God is he who comes down from heaven and gives life to the world." Then they said to him, "Lord, give us this bread always." And Jesus said to them, "I am the bread of life. He who comes to me shall never hunger, and he who believes in me shall never thirst. But I said to you that you have seen me, and yet do not believe. All that the Father gives me will come to me, and the one who comes to me I will by no means cast out. For I have come down from heaven, not to do my own will, but the will of him who sent me. This is the will of the Father who sent me, that of all he has given me, I should lose nothing, but should raise it up at the last day. And this is the will of him who sent me, that everyone who sees the Son and believes in him may have everlasting life, and I will raise him up at the last day." The Jews then complained about him, because he said, "I am the bread which came down from heaven." And they said, "Is not this Jesus, the son of Joseph, whose father and mother we know? How is it then that he says, 'I have come down from heaven'?" Jesus therefore answered and said to them, "Do not murmur among yourselves. No one can come to me unless the Father who sent me draws him, and I will raise him up at the last day. It is written in the prophets, and they shall all be taught by God. Therefore, everyone who has heard and learned from the Father comes to me. Not that anyone has seen the Father, except he who is from God. He has seen the Father. Most assuredly, I say to you, he who believes in me has everlasting life. I am the bread of life. Your fathers ate the manna in the wilderness and are dead. This is the bread which comes down from heaven, that one may eat of it and not die. I am the living bread which came down from heaven. If anyone eats of this bread, he will live forever. And the bread that I shall give is my flesh, which I shall give for the life of the world.
Wow. That was a beautiful chapter. That last one we just read. I wonder what more it says on the next day, because it looks like there's some more in chapter 6. Just beautiful. I don't know what else to say. How can you not read that and it's just beautiful. And it's so poetic at the same time, you know? I have I have a different YouTube channel where I do just food videos. I don't know. I love cooking and baking, and I'm trying to figure out ways to help bring in money while staying at home with my daughter. And my husband and I would love for our income to come from related to like food, because we love food. So I was like, I'm just gonna start a YouTube channel and just make videos about me cooking and baking and just, I don't know, experiment, play around, see where it goes. I have nothing to lose, right? Well, I told God, I want this channel also, just like this one, to bring attention to you. So I don't know how I came across it, but my banner on my channel, when you go to my channel, at the top, it has the verse about if you come to me, you'll never thirst and you'll never be hungry. And it's beautiful. It's, I don't know, it's beautiful. I love it. I've come a long way where it felt like pulling teeth to get myself to read the Bible. And then I didn't enjoy it either. I was always confused or angry or upset or frustrated and didn't understand. And now I enjoy reading the Bible. I actually, guys, bought my first Bible. Yay! And it's so pretty too. It's like girly. It is the King James Version, because I've been seeing a lot about how that's the best version still to read. And then it's a cross-reference study Bibles, and it's tailored towards women. So there's like footnotes and just like all kinds of things in it. It's really cool. So I actually like picked it up because I was like, wow, I really want to start like reading the Bible again from the beginning. I know I'm still reading it right now, but I almost want to, at the same time, kind of start reading this cross-reference study Bible I got. Like also, like I want to do both. Finish, this one now, and then also start reading this one. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but yeah. Anyways, well, guys, I'm gonna get going. It's late, and I just want to say thank you so much to the people that have been helping me. You guys have no idea how grateful I am that God has sent you guys my way, and I just really, really appreciate the help very much. And it makes me really happy knowing that you guys are leaving such detailed comments, because you never know if someone else is going to come across them and it might help them too. You just never know. So to me, it's so nice to have that additional information in the comments for others who might not be bold enough to ask for help or to ask questions. Some people like to watch and read anonymously, so I just want to say thank you guys so much, and just please help me and others in the comments as much as you can, and we'll just keep chugging along. So, all right, guys, I'll see you in 2 days. Good night.